Hello and welcome to College Hype Live with me, your host, Matt McKay. Today I'm here to talk about the Cotton Bowl this year in the college football playoff between the Michigan State Spartans of the Big Ten and the Alabama Crimson Tide of the SEC. This is a great matchup for many reasons. I think the most interesting thing about this matchup is both teams have a bad loss on the year, and that's their only loss. Michigan State's loss coming to the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln, and Alabama's loss coming to the Ole Miss Rebels in Tuscaloosa, which is more upsetting because that was a home game. And Michigan State's one loss, they lost in a controversial way. Last second, could the receiver have stepped out of bounds? Was he forced out of bounds? He made the catch for the touchdown, and the way I look at that is Michigan State shouldn't even allow Nebraska to be in that position to make that play. Nebraska got the ball back with like 50 something seconds to go, and quarterback Tommy Armstrong Jr. for the Cornhuskers, he connected with his favorite receiver Jordan Westerkamp on two consecutive plays for 30 plus yard gains and put Nebraska in a position to get the ball in the end zone. And there were no controversial calls on those plays, so that's on Michigan State, but that doesn't matter anymore. Michigan State bounced back and they're in the playoff now, as that was their goal at the beginning of the year, and that they have a chance to achieve something that Michigan State hasn't done since the 60s, and that's get to a national championship game and potentially win a national championship game. So I know they're going to be playing with a lot of motivation, and Michigan State, look out for them. Defensively, offensively, they got it all. And a fantastic head coach in Mark D'Antonio. Alabama's loss this year came to the Ole Miss Rebels in a very highly rated SEC matchup in Tuscaloosa at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the Crimson Tide. He, Jacob Coker, the quarterback for Alabama, he is a leader on this team. He's looked at as one of the better players on this team. Jacob Coker is a transfer from Florida State. This is his first year starting for Alabama. That you could say that was his first big game for Alabama against the Ole Miss Rebels, and he didn't play well in that game. He turned the ball over. He threw interceptions. He didn't do a very good job at leading that team in that game, and I think that's why they lost that game. And that doesn't matter anymore. Alabama bounced back. Alabama did what Alabama does, and Nick Saban is a fantastic coach, and for that reason, they're in the playoff again. People started to doubt Alabama. People started to say, "Is Alabama not one of the best anymore? Are they declining? Are they going to go away for the next few years?" And Nick Saban said, "No, absolutely not. We are going to stick around, and we're going to be back in the playoff, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to get back there." And where we lost last year, Alabama is the only team that was in last year's playoff that's back in this year's playoff. So that speaks volumes about Alabama's coaching staff and the will of their players. So watch out for Alabama too. I think this matchup's just going to be great. If you love defensive football, you're going to love this game. This game is going to be much different than the Orange Bowl between Clemson and Oklahoma. That game is just going to be offense, offense, offense. I believe with quarterbacks Baker Mayfield for the Sooners and Deshaun Watson for the Clemson Tigers. That's going to be an offensive ball game. So this Cotton Bowl though, this is hard nose, run somebody over, ground and pound football, and that all starts with Derrick Henry for the Crimson Tide. This man, he won the Heisman Trophy. He set multiple records. I believe he's trailing only Herschel Walker for most rush yards in the season. He's just put up some ridiculous stats this year, and he's gonna give the Michigan State defensive coaches and the Michigan State defensive players fits. I believe if Shalik Calhoun for the Spartans and Malik McDowell for the Spartans, those two fantastic defensive linemen can't slow them down, and so I just I'm really intrigued by this matchup and I look forward to it. So I'll dive right into it here. I'll start with the Michigan State offense. Michigan State, they got Connor Cook at quarterback. Connor Cook is a great leader. He's been a great player for this team for 2 years now, winning the Cotton Bowl last year actually against the Baylor Bears. Connor Cook played a great game. He's been a little bit banged up lately with that shoulder injury that he suffered against Maryland, I believe, back the week before the Ohio State game. So they actually didn't have him in the Ohio State game. They started quarterbacks Damian Terry and Tyler O'Connor. So, he didn't even play in that game, and Michigan State still won. So that just speaks volumes about Michigan State's team and how much they believe in each other and how great of a coach Mark D'Antonio is. He doesn't get enough credit. But outside of Connor Cook playing some great some great football at the quarterback position. He's surrounded by offensive weapons. He's got L.J. Scott running the ball, Mondre London running the ball. Uh, in and out wide, he's got his favorite receiver, Aaron Burbridge, R.J. Shelton, McGarrett Kings Jr. He's got weapons on weapons, and he's going to have to use McGarrett Kings Jr. R.J. Shelton more in this game because the Alabama defense is so strong this year with that defensive front and that secondary headlined by cornerback Cyrus Jones. He's fantastic. They're going to have to, really utilize their other receivers because Aaron Burbridge is going to match up with Cyrus Jones, and he's more than likely going to be shut down for the entire game if Cyrus Jones can play like Cyrus Jones can. So Connor Cook's really going to have to, have the Spartans work as a team and lead that offense and really, really show what this Spartan team is all about, how they play as a team, what they believe in, how badly they want to get to this national championship. Michigan State hasn't won a national championship since 1966, I do believe. So they're definitely a team that wants to get back there. So Michigan State's going to play just as hard as anybody, and Michigan State doesn't lose big games. I haven't seen Michigan State lose a big game in a while. They're always the team that's best prepared. They're always the team that makes the plays when they have to. Michigan State's fantastic in that regard, and again, that's just Mark D'Antonio is a fantastic coach, and I think that's mostly speaks about Mark D'Antonio's ability to motivate a team and coach a team. Their team slogan this year is "Reach Higher," and they've done just that this year. Last year they got to the Cotton Bowl, a very, very good bowl game, but they didn't make the playoff last year. They're reaching higher this year. They made the playoff. They won the Big Ten championship. They're meeting new accolades every year, and this is just a very impressive team. And I'm excited for these Spartans to be in this position. It's gonna be a stiff test against that Alabama defense, though. Alabama defense, headlined by I said Cyrus Jones. They also have Reggie Ragland, a linebacker, finished runner-up for the linebacker of the year award behind fantastic linebacker Tyler McAdovich from Temple Owls. He is fantastic. But Reggie Ragland, he really believes in the term hats to the ball. He wants to get the tackles for loss. He wants to be a ball hawk. He wants to get to the quarterback, rattle the quarterback, and that's going to be an important thing for them to do against Michigan State is get Connor Cook rattled. He's a very experienced quarterback, but no quarterback is going to be invincible. They got to get inside his head. They got to blitz. They got to drop some stunt plays. They got to really get in Connor Cook's head and make the Michigan State offense change up what they're doing. I think Alabama's defense matching up with the Michigan State offense is going to create a very, very stiff challenge for this Michigan State offense, as I've said. And they're going to have to just create big plays. I think big plays is what's going to keep Michigan State in this game, and what's possibly going to help them win this game is if they can create enough big plays. And that, that's the matchup, when Alabama's defense and Michigan State offense is on the field. So let's flip the script a little bit. Alabama's offense is just great. Jacob Coker at quarterback, like I mentioned, he's a transfer from Florida State, starting his first season at Alabama. He's flourished under Lane Kiffin in that offense. Nick Saban, he's a great coach. He's making sure everyone's prepared. But when you're talking about Alabama's offense, it's Derrick Henry, the Heisman winner. He's everything to that Alabama team, and he's going to make the difference in this game. If Michigan State's defensive line and linebackers can't, fill their gaps and get through holes and stop Derrick Henry, I don't think Michigan State stands a chance in this game because Derrick Henry's too good. If they need to find a way to stop him, and I'm sure that's what they're doing in their preparations for the bowl game, is how are we going to stop this man? Derrick Henry, rightfully won the Heisman, I believe. He didn't just barely win it either. I think he won it by, a very good amount of votes. So, he's definitely the undisputed Heisman, and he's great. So Michigan State's really going to have to find a way to stop Derrick Henry. And, and when they do, when Derrick Henry starts being a little bit slower, when he starts, getting stuffed at the line, when he stops getting those long gains, Alabama has other weapons. They have Calvin Ridley, a fantastic receiver out on the edge for the Crimson Tide. He's very fast. He's gonna be matched up with a decent Michigan State secondary, but Michigan State secondary has been known to give up big plays this year, and I think that might come back to bite him in this game against Alabama with the running game that they have, which will tire out the defense. And that's going to open up opportunities for big plays downfield to Calvin Ridley on one side for Alabama, and then Adarius Stewart on the other side for Alabama. So Jacob Coker definitely has weapons. Another player you're going to want to watch out for Alabama is Kenyon Drake. He plays the receiver, running back, kick returner. He really is going to do a lot for Crimson Tide, and he's great, and he's going to be I think he's another X factor. What can they do about Kenyon Drake? Is Kenyon Drake going to be able to come in the game and make a difference for the Crimson Tide? So that's Alabama's offense, and they're Alabama. They're going to run the ball, pound, 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 and they're going to pass when they have to. And when they do pass, the defense may be tired from stopping Derrick Henry all that time. And so that's going to open up opportunities for big plays for Alabama. So I think that's going to create a problem for Michigan State. So this Michigan State defense is going to be the biggest part of this game, I believe, to determine who's the winner in this game. Michigan State's defense, they're headlined by Shalik Calhoun, the defensive end, the All-American, the senior. He's great. He's been great for 3 years now. He could have been a first or second round draft pick last year, but he chose to come back for his senior year for Michigan State, and I'm pretty sure he's glad he did. He's great. He disrupts the run. He rushes the passer well. He gets a lot of sacks, and he's just, when he's on the field, he draws double teams. He's just a very valuable player for Michigan State, especially in this game. Shalik Calhoun will be matching up against Alabama's best offensive lineman, Cameron Robinson. That'll be a great matchup to watch on television or if you're at the game. So you're going to want to watch out for that matchup. Also on the defensive line for Michigan State, Malik McDowell. He's a younger player, but he knows he plays football. He knows how to do things right. He knows how to get past the guards and the tackles, and he's going to disrupt the run, which he's been doing all year, and he's emerging into a star player for the Spartans. After Calhoun goes to the NFL after this year, after graduating from Michigan State, I think McDowell's really going to take over there as their best defensive lineman. And I think he already is their second best defensive lineman right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see. This game is going to match up against two great offensive lines, two good defensive lines, and I think the running games are going to make a difference. And Michigan State wins if they can create big plays enough, and Alabama wins if Derrick Henry runs the ball successfully. It's as simple as that. Alabama, they're coming into this game believing that Derrick Henry just has to run the ball well to win, and I agree. Michigan State's also going to try to run the ball. They will run the ball. Alabama's defensive line's just as good as Michigan State's. Michigan State's offensive line features two All-Americans this year in Conklin and Allen down there. Two big guys who could enter the NFL draft this year. They're that good. So it's just a very, very intriguing matchup for me. And if you love classic smash mouth football, this is a game for you. Now we get to my prediction, and I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide in this one. I cannot pick against Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry comes into this game after winning the Heisman. He's going to be motivated. This is going to be a motivated Alabama team to get to the College Football Playoff National Championship that they didn't get to last year after losing to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Sugar Bowl last year. So they're going to be extra motivated. They're the one team in this year's playoff that has been there before in this situation in a college football playoff game, and they're going to win it. I think Derrick Henry leads this team to a victory and sends them to the national championship game. 24-16 is my score prediction. It's not going to be a blowout, but Alabama wins this game by 8 points in the end. I don't think Michigan State has enough to stop this Alabama team. And so just, look out for a great game that Alabama, takes control of late, running the ball with Derrick Henry. Let's just see some good football. That's all it really is. So Alabama 24-16 over the Michigan State Spartans. That's my prediction. Thank you for listening. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And please like this, comment, subscribe, comment below what bowl games you want me to preview for you next on my next podcast. And we will talk to you then. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.